Welcome to day C at WTO. Basically, we're going to work on those hips. Obviously, we sit all day, we get really tight. So let's do some hip movements in order to open up those hips. First, let's just take a nice seated position. Doesn't matter whether you're in the chair or like me on the floor in the Indian stance. Let's just take some nice, deep 20-second breaths in and out in order to basically just relax the body, allow everything to calm down, so that way as we stretch and move, we'll maximize our movements. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to do a 5-second breath in, 5-second release, and we're going to repeat that twice. So we're taking a nice deep breath in. Air into the stomach. And then a nice long release for 5 seconds. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep breath in. And release. Nice and slow. Good. While we're in this position, I'm going to go ahead. If you're in a chair, just go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and take it down to the floor, to the ground. Start off with just a simple butterfly. And we're going to start by just trying to push those heels into our hips. Nice upwards chest of a stretch hand in that position. Drop those knees as much as we can. We're going to hold this for like 10 or 15 seconds. And then after we've held it, while you're in position, make sure you're still breathing. And then we're going to back and forth. Try to get a little bit more movement in those hips back and forth, okay? I'm at the house today. So we're just going to rock it back and forth again, just trying to generate a little bit more movement in those hips back and forth. From here, we're actually going to kick the legs straight out, okay? From here, and then basically we want to attempt to touch both toes, leaning forward, take a nice deep breath in, release, and take that forward as much as you can, okay? To get our hamstrings, lower back. From here, come back upright. Now let's rotate it to the one side to get a little thoracic. So we're going to touch that one toe direction as we rotate to get a little bit of rotation. We're going to come back up. Same thing, other side. So we want to try to rotate as much as we can as we reach for that toe. Good. So we should start to be opening up a little bit. Those hips should be opening up a little bit. So let's go and get a little bit more movement. What we're going to do, we're going to take both our legs. We're basically going to put them 90 degrees. Okay. So basically my chest and shin are facing the same direction this way. This leg is at 90 degrees. If you ran in a straight line, it would match the bottom of my foot in front of it. Okay. Basically, the first thing we want to do is, if you have to, like me, I'm not very mobile in this position. So I'm going to actually use my arm, and I want to try to get as square as I can and face forward and then lean forward in that position. Okay. Basically, we're loosening up that lower back rotation and the hip at the same time. Okay. Do that 3 or 4 times. And then from this position, we're basically going to rotate, leave your feet planted on the ground, and rotate the other direction and try to get the turn of that capsule in those hip sockets. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Again, try to square that chest up with the front shin. Then we do a forward lean. Do that 4 or 5 times. Good. And we're going to come back and we're going to take it to center. Basically going to shake out our legs a little bit, open up those hips. Now I want to activate. We've stretched out those hips a little bit. Now we want to get a little bit of activation and movement. So what we're basically going to do, I want you to take one knee up, face it straight towards the ceiling. Back, and then basically take around. I want you to lift that leg and activate that hip for about 10 reps. So our hip flexors have been sitting shortened all day in the seat. They're dormant. Haven't been active. This is a nice simple exercise to activate those hip flexors, get them active again, lengthen them out, and get them working like they're supposed to. And notice my foot does not go back to the ground. Lift it straight back up, toe straight towards the ceiling. Simple movement, but extremely effective as far as getting that hip flexor reactivated and operating like it should. Good. Now, we're actually going to go back to that 90-90 position like this. And we're going to go through a little bit of a complex of movement and try to open up those hips some more, get a little bit of movement. We stretch, we've activated. Now let's try to put it to use by actually moving that hip capsule back and forth. So we're going to start basically. And I'm just going to rotate back and forth, trying just to rotate through my hip capsule right there and rotate those hips back and forth using my hands. Okay, good. Now, after we've done this 5 or 6 times, you should feel a little bit looser. The movement should feel a little better for you. If you have mobility anyways, you already were probably there. But now the next step is take those hands off the ground. And now we're going to move those hips without the use of our hands. Try to keep those feet, again, settled on the ground as you rotate back and forth. Okay, this is actually a great combination, not only opening up your hips from a mobility standpoint, but fantastic as far as actually strengthening some of that connective tissue between the hips and those bones that are so easily injured, get tight, all of the above. Good, so we did that 4 or 5 times. Nice warm up. Let's go ahead and take it up off the ground now. We're going to stand tall. 2 options. You can do it just body weight or B. Use a cheater like this, like the edge of the couch, table, whatever it may be. But basically, we are going to take a split stance form. Let me go sideways so you can see. Front foot flat. We're going to start with our knee actually on the ground. Take that arm up. Take a deep breath. And then basically, we're going to tilt to the back and to the side, and we're trying to stretch that hip flexor right there. So that's where you should feel it the most. If you're not feeling it there, we're probably not doing it correct. Just take a moment and readjust if you're not. And now let's get that other side. So same thing. Foot flat, split stance position, knee on the back, arm up. There you go, to the back and to the side. Rotate, don't forget to breathe. Something that also helps in this is actually squeezing the glutes. That forces that hip flexor to stretch. So if you're not feeling any stretch at all and you feel pretty comfortable, you're in the right position, squeeze those glutes. That might be the difference maker in getting that right stretch in that hip flexor. Good. Now from here, we're going to do a simple tuck that leg back under. And we are actually going to go to a standing position from this knee position in order to get some activation in our legs and hips. So I'd simply slide that foot in front of me, slide the other one in front of me. Notice my hips stay low. And then we're going to stand up. And we're literally going to go back down the same exact way. I'm going to drop down, back down to both knees. This time I'm going to start with my other leg though. So I try to keep the body still and shift that leg up underneath me. That forces my hips to actually shift under, not my body. And then actually, same thing other side, trying to keep my hips low, stand tall. Let's do that 5 times, okay? So we're gonna pick up the speed a little bit. Now we know what we're doing. So shift that leg up, shift the other leg up, stand tall. Back down to the ground again. Leg underneath, underneath. Stand tall, that's 2. Okay. Got it. Stand tall, 1 more. And good. So now we should be good and warmed up. I personally have a little bit of a sweat going on. Definitely overall feel a lot more rejuvenized, woken up. So let's just do a quick little movement of about 2 minutes. Pretty much what we have time left as far as WTO. We're basically going to go through a quick mix of body weight squats into a run in place for 20 seconds for 2 straight minutes. This is going to do 2 things. It's going to literally wake us up, give us a slight workout, but mostly it's going to make sure everything's activated. We've been sitting all day. This is going to kind of break everything apart and get us going and kind of try to basically counter all the sitting we've been doing all day. So for 20 seconds, we're going to do body weight squats and go. And then we run in place, just nice and easy. So notice I'm not at a high rate of speed. Just nice jog in place, 20 seconds. And back into squats. So notice just nice controlled pace. We're just trying to wake the body up, try to counter a lot of things we've been doing today. So I'm actually trying not to work out right now. I'm just trying to activate the body, stimulate the body. In a perfect world, I'll actually be ready to work out or do something else as soon as we're done here. Another 20 seconds, nice little simple jog in place. And back to squats. So the breath should be coming up right about now. Should be feeling a little bit like a workout. And depending what shape level you're in, you want to stay, obviously, just you can even do a little bit more of a high knees. Give yourself a little bit more juice. Here we go, last set of squats. Good. Nice. Should have a little bit of a brisk sweat going on right now. A little bit of breathing. Nice deep breath through the nose, taking to the chest. Lower that heart rate. Cool down. And we are done. Should be feeling a lot better. Should be good and activated. Like I said, in a perfect world, take that outside. Go on to your next adventure. Enjoy your evening. Hope you had a good time. And I hope to see you guys next time. One last thing is next week, there's a strong possibility the WTO's getting changed to earlier in the day, like around 1 o'clock. So look for it in the newsletter. Okay? Thank you guys. Enjoy.